shoebox underneath the kitchen sink. I moved them every morning so I wouldn't have to think. Red numbers through the windows, dates already left behind. I said the month was difficult, but never told you why. You found me on the floorboard with the envelope spread wide. You didn't ask how long they'd waited, you just sat down by my side. We made a plan written in pencil across the back of June. Every line could move a little, every answer could come soon. A plan written in pencil with some numbers crossed away. You never made me feel like a failure for the choices I had made. We counted what was coming, then divided what could wait. You called the office with me, but you let me speak my name. The woman changed the deadline and removed another fee. I nearly started crying when she said that she agreed. You didn't turn one phone call into proof the worst was done. You placed a check beside the first step and said we had begun. We made a plan written in pencil across the back of June. Every line could move a little, every answer could come soon. A plan written in pencil with some numbers crossed away. You never made me feel like failure for the choices I had made. We cooked from what was left there, rice, tomatoes, half a lime. Walked instead of taking taxis and made jokes about the climb. Some evenings I felt guilty when you canceled something new. You said this isn't me rescuing you, this is what a partnership can do. By autumn, every envelope had left the kitchen floor. The shoebox held old photographs and nothing overdue. I once believed that being loved required a spotless life, a balanced book, an easy past, and every answer right. But you saw all the untidy parts, the fear beneath the sums, and never turned my hardest season into who I would become. One calculator blinking, two pencils worn away, a calendar with arrows pointing toward another day. I signed the final payment, then looked across at you. You raised your cup above the table like we always knew I could. We made a plan written in pencil, now the paper's framed upstairs. Not because the numbers matter, but because of what was shared. A plan written in pencil taught me more than how to pay. You stood beside the truth with me and never looked away. The kitchen sink is empty, the letters all are gone. But whenever life gets tangled, we bring another pencil home. Not every plan survives unchanged, not every road runs straight. But I know love can face the numbers and still choose to remain. found the reservation, still unread upon my phone. The table had been waiting while I worked 3 hours too long. I reached the apartment breathless, with apologies prepared. You were sitting on the kitchen floor with takeout everywhere. I searched your face for anger, for the evening I had lost. You handed me a card and said, "Come meet before it's cold." It was an anniversary without candles, no flowers standing in a vase, just 2 forks inside 1 carton, and some sauce across your face. An anniversary without candles still felt worthy of the years. You didn't count the ways I failed you. You were simply glad I made it here. The restaurant kept calling, so you finally let it ring. We played the song from our first summer through the speaker by the sink. I took off my office jacket, you untied your polished shoes, then danced with me between the boxes like there was nothing left to prove. I said I should have remembered every detail we had planned. You said I remember choosing you, that matters more than where we stand. It was an anniversary without candles, no flowers standing in a vase, just 2 forks inside 1 carton, and some sauce across your face. An anniversary without candles still felt worthy of the years. You didn't count the ways I failed you. You were simply glad I made it here. We opened up the photograph box from the closet near the stairs, found the motel by the highway and the year I cut my hair. There were birthdays we had ruined, there were trips that changed halfway, there were ordinary evenings that became our favorite days. I looked around the kitchen at the plans we didn't need, and understood perfection had never kept you close to me. I had learned that love was measured by remembering every date, by reservations made on time, and never showing up too late. But you gave the night another meaning without making me feel small. You showed me being disappointed didn't mean withdrawing love. No more white tablecloth, no city view, no little card that said for 2. Just your knees against the cabinet and my shoulder next to you. 1 cold meal, 1 missed plan, your fingers resting in my hand. Nothing looked the way we pictured, still the evening felt complete. It was an anniversary without candles, but the room was full of light from the years we kept on choosing when the timing wasn't right. An anniversary without candles, now it's the one I treasure most. You love me through the ruined evening instead of loving what it should have been. Next year I made the reservation and arrived before the time, but we left before the dessert came and brought the whole meal home. We sat again on the kitchen floor with the music playing low, because love was never in the candles, it was knowing where to go. across the ceiling. I reached around for both my shoes, but couldn't stop my hands from shaking. Doors opened down the hallway. Everybody rushed downstairs. You wrapped my coat around me and checked that I was there. The building filled with voices, the stairwell narrowed in my sight. You stepped away from all the movements and waited by my side. Barefoot on the third floor landing, with my heartbeat running wild. You stood between me and the staircase till I could take another stride. Barefoot on the third floor landing, while the whole night hurried by. You gave me back my own direction, one small step at a time. A neighbor carried two gray cats, a child held a yellow bear. Someone shouted from the pavement that the smoke was nowhere there. They called it a false one and said we all could go inside, but I stayed against the railing, still unable to decide. You didn't make the moment smaller or laugh because the danger passed. You waited for my body to believe the news at last. Barefoot on the third floor landing, with my heartbeat running wild. You stood between me and the staircase till I could take another stride. Barefoot on the third floor landing, while the whole night hurried by. You gave me back my own direction, one small step at a time. We sat there through the sirens till the hallway lights turned white. You gave me one of your old sneakers and wore the other for the night. We laughed along the corridor, two mismatched feet across the floor. By the time we reached the apartment, I could breathe like I had before. I used to think affection had to pull me through the fear, had to tell me I was stronger, had to make the ending clear. But you offered me a balance without choosing where I'd stand. You stayed close enough to catch me, but you never moved my legs. One red light above the doorway, one coat around my back, one borrowed shoe between us as the building settled down. The danger had been nothing, but the fear had still been real. You treated both as separate truths and let me choose what I could feel. Barefoot on the third floor landing, I found the staircase once again. Not because you pushed me downward, but because you stayed until I left. Barefoot on the third floor landing, and that night changed what love became. Not someone carrying me through it, someone walking at my pace. The alarm was fixed by Friday, the red light disappeared, but one old sneaker by the doorway still reminds me of that year. Whenever life begins to race and I forget which step is mine, you meet me where my feet have stopped and wait until they move in time. the building. Just before the evening meal, the refrigerator stopped humming and the hallway disappeared. I searched through every drawer for a candle or a match. You opened up the curtains and let the city light come in. Cars were moving far below us, windows glowing one by one. You reached across the kitchen and said the night had just begun. We danced with no music between the table and the stove. Your hand became the rhythm and the floor became our road. We danced with no music while the whole block waited dark. Nothing played around us, still I heard you in my heart. The dinner stayed unfinished, two plates cooling by the sink. You turned a wooden spoon around and offered it to me. I used it like a microphone and sang the wrong words loud. You bowed like I was famous to an imaginary crowd. The neighbors lit their balconies, a child began to cheer. We laughed until the heavy week no longer followed us in there. We danced with no music between the table and the stove. Your hand became the rhythm and the floor became our road. We danced with no music while the whole block waited dark. Nothing played around us, still I heard you in my heart. The rain began at midnight and the windows gathered steam. I told you what had happened at the meeting earlier that week. How every word I offered had been cut before it landed. How I left the room believing I was smaller than they said. You never tried to turn it into something bright or wise. You only pulled me closer and kept moving side to side. I had thought that being cared for would arrive with perfect words, a plan to fix the damage and a promise it would work. But you gave me one dark kitchen, one unfinished meal for two, and a place where I could lose the day without losing part of the view. No speakers on the counter, no record turning near, only rain against cold by morning. The candle stayed unused. But sometimes when the days grow difficult, we turn the whole room loose. We switch off every light, leave the city shining through, and dance again with no music, like the night that carried us through. We covered up the furniture and opened every can. You drew a line along the ceiling. I held the roller in my hand. We said we'd finish by the evening, have the whole place looking new. But halfway through the second wall, I lost the strength to follow through. I started listing every reason why the weekend had gone wrong. You placed the brush inside the tray and turned the old radio on that half-painted Saturday. You left the work undone, pulled me barefoot through the hallway, while the afternoon became the night. On that half-painted Saturday, you never counted what remained. You chose the person in the room instead of everything we hadn't changed. There were blue marks on the carpet, white paint drying on your jeans. We ate straight from the gardens with the ladder in between. I said I hated leaving, any promise incomplete. You pointed at the empty wall, then pulled me closer to the beat. The apartment looked unfinished, but I felt more at home. You made a place for imperfection without calling it on that half-painted Saturday, you left the work undone, pulled me barefoot through the hallway, while the afternoon became the night. On that half-painted Saturday, you never counted what remained. You chose a person in the room instead of everything we hadn't changed. For 3 weeks, one side stayed yellow and the other stayed pale gray. Every visitor kept asking when we planned to paint again. We always said tomorrow, then forgot it by the door, because the line between the colors had become something we adored. It marked a place where pressure ended and the evening turned around, where I learned that love could hold me even when I let things down. I had measured my whole value by the tasks I could complete, by the promises crossed neatly, and the hours kept on schedule. You never praised me for producing or withdrew when I grew tired. You let the day become perfect and kept wanting me beside you. One roller in the corner, 2 colors on the wall, your footprints near the doorway, and our shadows growing tall. The room was far from finished, but nothing felt misplaced. I stopped looking at the missing work and started looking at your face. face on that half-painted Saturday. You changed the way I saw every plan that reached its limit, every person with the flaw on that half-painted Saturday. You gave the day another name. Not a failure, not a wasted hour, just a life we chose to make. We finished both the walls in winter, then stood back when it was done. But I almost missed the crooked line that had stayed there for so long. So we painted one small stripe between them, where the two old colors met, to remember love was living there before the room was perfect. I pinned the number to my shirt before the streets were bright. The doctor said my knee was ready, but my head still held the night. 6 months of careful circles on a track behind the school had brought me to the starting line with everything to lose. The crowd moved like a river when the signal split the air. I followed every pounding shoe and tried to keep you there. At the first turn I felt fearless, at the second doubt returned. Then the clouds broke over downtown and the painted road began to blur. At mile 3 in the rain, I saw your cardboard sign. The letters ran together, but I knew that crooked line. At mile 3 in the rain, you shouted through the crowd, oh, not telling me to finish, just reminding me I'd made it out. My pace fell near the bridge where the water crossed the lane. A runner brushed my shoulder and the old fear struck again. I almost stepped behind the rope and handed back the day. Then I heard your shoes beside me, though you wore no racing tag. You matched me for one city block with water on your face, then turned back toward the sidewalk and returned the road to me. You didn't steal the struggle or pretend the ache was gone. You gave me one familiar stride, then trusted me to carry on. A mile 3 in the rain, I saw your cardboard sign. The letters ran together, but I knew that crooked line. A mile 3 in the rain, ooh, you shouted through the crowd, ooh, not telling me to finish, just reminding me I'd made it out. The final street was shining with the storm beneath the sun. My breathing came in fragments, but my legs had found their rhythm. I crossed beneath the banner, long behind the fastest names, and searched among the umbrellas till I found your face again. You held the metal carefully, but waited for my hand. Like even in the celebration, the choice was where I'd stand. I once believed devotion meant dragging someone through, taking over every battle before they asked you to. But you met me at the hardest mile, then let the race stay mine. You gave me back the part of me that fear had left behind. One soaked number one, ruined sign. that square, still holding up those running words beneath the pouring sky. At mile 3 in the rain, where I found my stride. For weeks I watched the neighborhood from behind the bedroom glass. The buses made their usual turns, and every afternoon went past. I dressed twice on that Saturday, then left my shoes beside the bed. You never asked what stopped me, you only brought my coat instead. We crossed the lobby together, I nearly turned around. You pointed toward the corner and said, "That's far enough for now." At the bench on Hawthorne Street, you sat down next to me, while the whole town carried on without demanding anything. At the bench on Hawthorne Street, you let the minutes lose their way. You didn't pull me toward tomorrow. You helped me meet that day. A delivery bike passed near us. Someone watered window plants. A dog kept chasing falling leaves around a woman's hands. I studied every ordinary thing, like I had never seen the block. You told me which apartment had the crooked rooftop clock. I said I felt embarrassed for finding one small walk so hard. You answered, "Distance isn't measured only by how far you are." At the bench on Hawthorne Street, you sat down next to me, while the whole town carried on without demanding anything. At the bench on Hawthorne Street, you let the minutes lose their weight. You didn't pull me toward tomorrow. You helped me meet that day. The next weekend we reached the market and returned with one red pair. By April we crossed the avenue and ate outside somewhere. Some days I made it farther, some days the doorway was the end. You never turned the difference into proof I'd failed again. You marked no dates or milestones, never kept a list of gains. You simply wore your walking shoes whenever I said your name. I thought that being loved meant someone lifting me above every fear I couldn't master, every part I couldn't outrun. But you never carried my footsteps or decided where they'd land. You made the world feel possible, then let me choose the span. 1 block in early winter, 3 blocks beneath the spring. A paper bag between us and the traffic changing lanes. I looked back toward our building from the opposite side of town and realized you had never pushed me. Still I had made it out. At the bench on Hawthorne Street, street, I found the city once again. Not because the fear had vanished, but because you were my friend. At the bench on Hawthorne Street, you gave my courage room to form. You never asked me to move faster, you just met me at the door. The bench was gone by summer, they replaced it with a tree. But every time we crossed that corner, you still glance over at me. We keep walking past the place where one small journey came to be. And I remember how you loved me at the bench on Hawthorne Street. I left the office after midnight with my resignation in my bag. Every sentence felt like thunder, every step pulled at the past. You were waiting by the window in the diner down the street, 2 cups cooling on the table in my favorite corner seat. I said I might have ruined everything. You pushed the menu toward my side, then asked me what I wanted for the first time in my life. You kept the receipt from the late night diner, from the night I chose myself. When I walked away from everything that made me feel like someone else. You kept the receipt from the late night diner, folded underneath your phone. You never called my choice a failure, you just made sure I got home. I listed every consequence, the rent, the calls, the empty days. You listened without decorating any fear I had to face. The waitress filled our glasses while the kitchen closed behind. You drew a little doorway in the margin by the price. You said maybe this is not an ending, maybe this is where you turn, and left the drawing on the table like a road I had to learn. You kept the receipt from the late night diner, from the night I chose myself. When I walked away from everything that made me feel like someone else. You kept the receipt from the late night diner, folded underneath your phone. You never called my choice a failure, you just made sure I got home. The first few weeks were difficult. I checked my inbox every hour, sent applications from the bedroom, while the days lost all their color. You never asked for progress. Every time you crossed the door, you brought the paper from that diner and placed it near my keyboard. One morning after 7 interviews, a message finally came. I read the offer twice before I dared to say your name. I thought belief was something people gave when they could see a finish line, a certain road, a reason to agree. But you stood beside a decision that had nothing guaranteed. You trusted who I might become before there was proof to read. One coffee, one unpaid check, one little doorway that you sketched. My resignation in my bag, your jacket on my chair. I thought I walked away with nothing. future met me there. You kept the receipt from the late night diner. Now it hangs above my desk. Not because that night was easy, but because I chose what happened next. You kept the receipt from the late night diner, with the doorway drawn in blue. The night I finally chose myself and found that I could still choose you. The diner changed its name last winter. The old red seats are gone, but sometimes when the week feels endless, we still drive past after dark. You touch the frame above my desk and ask me what I want. And every time I hear the question that helped me carry on. I sold it near the end of winter, when the rent was overdue. My mother's ring inside a velvet box was all I had to lose. I told you it meant nothing, just a stone and borrowed gold. But I couldn't cross that corner without looking through the window. You never asked why I had chosen that one thing to leave behind. You only wrote the ticket number on the calendar beside mine. The ring behind the glass stayed waiting through the season. You never made my hardest choice sound like something needing pardon. The ring behind the glass was not the measure of my past. You loved me with an empty hand until I could go bring it back. We started saving little pieces, coins beneath the kitchen jar. Skipped the taxis after midnight, walked together from the bar. You sold the jacket you had ordered and pretended it felt wrong. I found the shipping label later, but I never said I'd known. You didn't turn our sacrifice into a debt I had to pay. You kept adding what you could and let me choose the final day. The ring behind the glass stayed waiting through the season. You never made my hardest choice sound like something needing pardon. The ring behind the glass was not the measure of my past. You loved me with an empty hand until I could go bring it back. Yeah. The shopkeeper found the velvet box beneath a row of watches. The stone looked smaller than I remember. The band was marked with scratches, and my hands began to shake before he placed it on the cloth. You stood a step behind me and let the moment still be mine. I slipped it on my finger, but it stopped above the line. The years had changed the shape of me since it had last been mine. I thought returning for that ring would somehow fix the year, restore the woman who had worn it, and undo what brought me here. But standing in that little shop, I finally understood the gold had carried history, but you had carried me through. One ticket in your wallet, mother's picture when I take it off at night. And every time the stone catches a little piece of passing light, I remember what you gave me wasn't money for the past. You gave me time to face that window and the strength to bring it back. The hallway smelled like winter coats and coffee left too long. A paper bracelet circled the wrist I kept turning around. The doctor spoke in careful terms and vanished through the doors. I stared at every ceiling tile and counted them once more. You came back from the elevator with change inside your hand. Said the machine had taken 3 coins, but finally gave up 2 cans. By the vending machine on floor 6, you stayed through every hour, reading labels from the bottles when I couldn't face the clock. By the vending machine on floor 6, you made no claim that things were fine. You shared the hard part as it was and never left me there alone. My brother's coat lay folded across the chair beside my knees. His keys were in the pocket and his headphones underneath. I told you stories from my childhood about bicycles and fights, how he taught me how to drive in an empty lot at night. You listened to the details, even those I told twice. And when my voice began to fail, you finished none of them for me. By the vending machine on floor 6, you stayed through every hour, reading labels from the bottles when I couldn't face the clock. By the vending machine on floor 6, you made no claim that things were fine. You shared the hard part as it was and never left me there alone. Near 4, the doors reopened and the doctor called my name. The words arrived in pieces, but the ending sounded safe. My knees forgot their purpose. You caught the coat before it fell and let me make the first phone call while you stood beside the wall. We walked back toward the waiting room with daylight through the blinds. You placed the unused coins inside the pocket next to mine. I used to think devotion would arrive with something grand, a perfect line at the right time, a solution in each hand. But you offered no performance, no answer dressed as truth. You stayed beside uncertainty and let me make it through. 2 cans on the windowsill, 3 coins inside a coat, 1 message sent to everyone, and 1 deep breath I finally took. The hallway kept its brightness, the machine kept making noise, but everything inside me shifted when I heard my brother's voice. By the vending machine on floor 6, you gave the night a shape, a chair, a coat, 2 tired hands, and enough strength for 1 more weight. By the vending machine machine on floor 6. I learned what standing close could mean, not changing what was happening, just facing it with me. My brother keeps those coins now in a glass beside his bed. He jokes about the price of soda and all the things we never drank. But every time I see them, I remember where you stood beside a stubborn vending machine, doing all that love could do. I recorded 7 minutes from the backseat of a cab, talking circles through the evening about the worst week I had. My voice cracked near the ending, and I laughed to cover it. I pressed send without intending and reached quickly for delete. Before the screen could take it back, 3 little dots appeared. You wrote, give me till the ending, I want every part of this. You heard the voice note I almost deleted, every unfinished thought I tried to hide. It didn't skip the parts where I went silent or asked me to make sense of every line. You heard the voice note I almost deleted, and answered what I meant, not what I said. You made my scattered words feel worth receiving, when I was sure they should have stayed unsent. You called after the final minute from a bench outside your train, quoted something I had whispered that I thought would sound insane. You said you're not a burden for having one unbearable day, then told me about the street musician playing badly by the gate. You didn't turn my breaking point into a lesson to complete. You gave the evening somewhere else to land besides defeat. You heard the voice note I almost deleted, every unfinished thought I tried to hide. You didn't skip the parts where I went silent or asked me to make sense of every line. You heard the voice note I almost deleted, and answered what I meant, not what I said. You made my scattered words feel worth receiving, when I was sure they should have stayed unsent. A month later you were driving when your own words came undone. You sent me 4 uncertain minutes and apologized and won. I listened from the kitchen with the groceries on the floor, and recognized the trust between us in the message at my door. I called before the ending, said listen and take your time, and heard you'll start believing you were safe on the other side. I used to think connection meant prison and something clear, a carefully arranged confession with the weakness engineered. But love became the recording with the traffic underneath, the missed words and sudden pauses, and the truth between each breath. 7 minutes in a backseat, one mistake I tried to erase, your name glowing on the screen, and acceptance in its place. The unless it still exists now in a folder on your phone. Not because that night was perfect, but because I let myself be known. You heard the voice note I almost deleted and gave my tangled honesty a home. You met the version speaking without armor and never made a wish she'd stayed unknown. You heard the voice note I almost deleted. Now we said no when the days become too much. Every broken sentence finds the other and returns with understanding in its touch. Sometimes love is 7 minutes with no polished words prepared, just somebody hearing all of you and proving they are really there. We opened up the puzzle on a Friday after work. 1,000 shades of ocean spread across your faded shirt. You started with the corners, I searched for boats and skies. We left it on the table when the moon climbed out of sight. Every evening after dinner, we returned to what we knew. A little more of the picture coming into view. We built the picture anyway, though one small piece was gone. Made an ocean from the fragments and kept working till the dawn. We built the picture anyway, never forcing it to fit. Maybe love is not completion, maybe love is choosing it. Some nights we barely touched it, we were tired from the day. Some nights we found a dozen and forgot the time again. You never stole the pieces waiting underneath my hand. You let me find my own place, then smiled like you had planned. There was beauty in the process, in the shape we couldn't see. Two people at a table, making room for mystery. We built the picture anyway, though one small piece was gone. Made an ocean from the fragments and kept working till the dawn. We built the picture anyway, never forcing it to fit. Maybe love is not completion, maybe love is choosing it. By spring the sea was finished, every sail was painted white. But one space near the shoreline still interrupted blue and light. I said we should replace it, buy another box brand new. You traced the missing outline and said I like it showing through. I had spent my life believing every gap should disappear, every flaw should be corrected before anyone came near. Then you framed our unfinished ocean and placed it in the hall. You showed me something can be worthy without containing it all. Months later, while we moved the sofa, you laughed and called my name. That little piece was underneath it, covered up in dust and change. still separate from the blue. A reminder love can feel complete without completing you. I came home with the whole day still arguing in my head. Dropped my bag beside the doorway and stood there without a word. The game was playing loudly. Someone shouted from the screen. You took one look across the room and reached for the machine. You didn't ask for details or search my face for clues. You lowered every voice around us till I could find my own. When you turned the TV down, the wall stopped leaning toward me. You cleared a little space where I could finally set the day. When you turned the TV down, you never made it something grand. You simply changed the room around me and placed the evening in my hands. You opened up the window, let the traffic cross the air, cut an apple into pieces and left the plate beside my chair. I spoke in broken pieces about a meeting gone too far. You listened from the carpet with your back against the couch. You never chose the villain or told me what to do. The story in the order it came through. When you turned the TV down, the wall stopped leaning toward me. You cleared a little space where I could finally set the day. When you turned the TV down, you never made it something grand. You simply changed the room around and placed the evening in my hand. The food arrived much later. We forgot what we had ordered. A comedy played with captions while the city crossed the curtains. I fell asleep before the ending with one foot against your knee. You covered up the apple plate and left the remote beside me. The problem wasn't finished. The morning still would come, but I had stopped believing I must carry it alone. I once thought love announced itself with speeches people planned, with perfect dates and promises and photographs of holding hands. Then you changed one little volume and watched the pressure leave. You showed me care could notice what I hadn't learned to speak. One remote upon the table, one jacket on the floor, your shoulder near my forehead, and the city past the door. Nothing had been solved yet, nothing had disappeared, but I could see tomorrow without being ruled by fear. When you turned the TV down, I heard the person underneath me, the one today I'd buried beneath every crowded sound. When you turned the TV down, you gave my thoughts a place to land. You never tried to carry them, you only helped me understand. face, an apple in your hand. Because love became the little things we learn to understand. You cut my hair at midnight. I stood before the bathroom mirror with the scissors in my hand. 3 months of feeling unfamiliar had changed more than I had planned. I said I wanted something different, then laughed and looked away. You pulled a chair into the kitchen and asked me where to start. I showed you one old photograph, then crossed the picture out. You said, tell me who you're becoming, not who you've been without. You cut my hair at midnight with the towel around my shoulders. Each piece falling to the tile made the person in me bolder. You cut my hair at midnight, never questioned what it meant. You helped me change the outside while I learned what I was ready to become. The first side came out uneven, so we watched another guide. You measured every section, then stepped back to check the line. I watched your face for hesitation, for some sign I'd made a mess. You smiled and swept the pieces, then asked if I wanted less. The window showed 2 silhouettes above the sleeping street. One learning how to trust herself, one helping her believe. You cut my hair at midnight with the towel around my shoulders. Each piece falling to the tile made the person in me bolder. You cut my hair at midnight, never questioned what it meant. You helped me change the outside while I learned what I was ready to become. The next morning at the station, I caught my face inside the glass. For once I didn't search the surface for the woman from the past. People looked and kept on walking. The trains arrived and left, but I carried something different. In the space above my neck, I sent you one quick picture from the platform near the stairs. You wrote, there you are, as if you had always seen me there. You never said the haircut would repair the months behind. You never turned a pair of scissors into some heroic sign. You only followed my direction and adjusted when I changed. You gave my own decision hands that helped it take its shape. Dark strands across the kitchen, one crooked piece behind my ear. Your reflection in the cabinet, and my face becoming clear. I thought transformation would arrive with greater sound, but it happened after midnight. With my old hair on the ground, you cut my hair at midnight and returned the mirror to me, not as proof that I was different, but a space where I could see. You cut my hair at midnight. scissors rest inside the drawer. The towel has lost the stain, but every time I change direction, I remember that night again. You stood behind me in the mirror, but the choice was always mine. And when I finally faced myself, you let me take my time. Started riding after midnight, with the window open wide. 3 chords kept moving in a circle, but the final line would hide. I crossed through half a notebook, then pushed the pages to the floor. Said maybe I had lost the part that made me sing before. You gathered every sheet and placed them gently on the desk, then sat against the doorway while I tried the verse again. You let me finish the song, even when the notes came wrong. You stayed through every broken phrase until my own voice carried on. You let me finish the song, never reached to write the end. You believed there was a melody before I heard it for myself. The neighbor struck the ceiling when I played the bridge too loud. I stopped halfway through the chorus and said I had worn you out. You brought 2 pillows from the bedroom, placed one underneath the door, then tapped the rhythm on your knee and asked to hear it once more. The words began to settle where the doubt had filled the page. What sounded weak and now before found meaning when I sang. You let me finish the song, even when the notes came wrong. Stayed through every broken phrase until my own voice carried on. You let me finish the song, never reached to write the end. You believed there was a melody before I heard it for myself. I played it at the small club on the Tuesday near the tracks. 12 people faced the little stage with coats across their laps. My fingers missed the opening and the microphone leaned low. Then I found you near the back wall, mouthing every word you knew. The room became less distant, the chords returned beneath my hands, and when I reached the final line, I finally understood the song. You never called me fearless, you knew how frightened I had been. You never praised an empty page or claimed the work was finished. You gave the doubt a chair without allowing it the room to take the instrument away, or silence what was coming through. Full of arrows, one recording on your phone, a melody born after midnight that almost stayed unknown. I used to think encouragement was someone leading from the front. You showed me it could sound like take your time, I'm still listening. You let me finish the song, and the ending became mine. stop before you recognize the voice that brought you here. I read it when the room grows empty, then begin another song.